Already, thank you. I think I'll tell you that later. Don't worry. So the rider for tonight is the exchanges between, or should I say, the reaction of Onanuga or Olenuga. Somebody called him that, so I kind of find that a little bit kind of like tricky. The 70-year-old special advisor to Tifnumbu on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok matters, Onanuga, reacting to one of the people who have added their voices to the ongoing killings in Nigeria. The difference, or should we say the reason for the exchanges, is because since the conclusion of the United Nations General Assembly meeting in New York last month, where Shitty Man attended and then advocated for the freedom of the people of Palestine and all that. So it is now believed that these Americans are shining more light in order to get the attention of Trump, to draw his attention towards the killings of Christians in Nigeria. The debate is not really over, just in case if you are wondering that. I thought that was back then. No, it's still on. The Texas senator, that is Ted Cruz, tweeted yesterday in support of the voices, the voices against the killings going on in Nigeria, which is now tagged, especially the one tagged the killings of Christians. And it is already gaining kind of like a huge momentum into the mainstream of the American media. As usual, that could be a problem, portraying Nigeria as, or maybe it wouldn't have been a problem. The problem there is that Ted Cruz is also proposing, let me see if I can pick that up here. Yeah. Ted Cruz is proposing what he called Nigeria Religious Freedom Act. So Nigeria Religious Freedom Act is going to be like a bill. It is a bill that will be comprehensive enough, not only to for America to acknowledge that indeed there is massive Christian killings, Christian genocide going on in Nigeria by the Islamic jihadists. So once America recognizes that, it will then be the act that will give them the power to sanction, that's what it is, sanction Nigeria government officials, past and present, who have shielded these terrorists, state governors, senators, royal fathers, everyone that they know that have shielded these Islamic terrorists in Nigeria would then be sanctioned, and the sanction comes with different share you get. So Onanuga responded and said, Senator, watch your mouth to share you get, like, stop this malicious, I'm going to say, stop this malicious, contrived lies against my country. I'm quoting Onanuga now. Said, we do not have a religious war in my country. The degraded Boko Haram terrorists operating on the fringes of Nigeria's northeast targets everyone. They are operating in the fringes of Nigeria's northeast. So they attack farmers, our soldiers. The bandits in the northwest kill worshippers in their mosques. Christians are not targeted. We have religious harmony in our country. Stop this malicious lie. And guess what? They've been sending a lot of people onto the media as well. So please, because their fear, let me tell you, their fear or their alleged fear is that maybe America is up to something, the usual. And then it will lead to regime change in Nigeria. Once they presented Tifnumbu as a jihadist, somebody who is enabling them. And with that, Nigeria is going to have an election soon, an election that seems to kind of going to be like a very serious one. It will come be like a good luck Egbereju Lantern 2.0. So And because APC knew what they did before things got completely out of hand for Jonathan, so they are not taking chances. So to them, America is up to something. They want to cause religious war in Nigeria, and that shouldn't be allowed. So they sent someone to the TV, by the way. Yeah. Oh, let us start with that, right? So they asked somebody on to go and explain to everyone that what is going on in Nigeria right now. More Muslims are also being killed, and it is not limited to Christians, and America should back off, kind of like,
Nations are not happy with Nigeria's posture in terms of certain global events that are happening. That is my opinion. Or perhaps some people are just hell-bent on proving certain things that their analysts sitting comfortably in their countries who have never set foot in Nigeria have predicted that by so and so Nigeria will disintegrate. So every single day, Nigeria proves everyone wrong. If I were to write a book about Nigeria, I would title the book Nigeria ... against all odds. We're here.
Okay. And one thing that got me thinking is that some of this security advisory had been issued in the past. But what really heightened this one was the evacuation of non-essential staff. And we usually see the U.S. doing this in war-torn countries like Syria, Afghanistan.
Are we a war-torn country?
And that's the question I want to ask you.
Are we a
does it look
country?
like that's the lens that they're using to actually look at us?
That's their own collective, selective myopia. This is what they want to see, they see. To them, they want us to be for our circle to be their box, and it must fit in their box. It cannot. We're a sovereign nation. We are not a banana republic. We are not a failing state. We are not a failed state by every single indices. If the problems that they are talking about were real, you and I will not be here in the Hilton having this conversation.
So should we be reviewing our security cooperation with these countries as a country?
We should absolutely review, redetermine, realign, reassign, reassess. We need to know who our friends are. We don't need friends in prosperity. We need friends who are there, who are here with us 24/7 throughout. But when everything happened after the fact, at this point in time, I am sure, again, speaking from my own perspective, we know who our friends are. We know who our adversaries are. We know who our potential adversaries are. We know who our potential friends are.
Do you think this has to do with Nigeria's sudden romance with some Eastern countries?
It doesn't.
Eastern blocs.
It is absolutely.
And of course, you see where we are purchasing some armaments from Turkey and all of that.
Irrelevant. Our preferred partner for purchase of material, equipment, platforms, and so on and so forth, at a point made it exceptionally difficult for us. If you recall, when Buhari came into power, there was a shortage of the AK-47 rifle ammunition. There was a 7-year waiting period. Why?
So the point there is that somebody like that was talking about, number one, denial, and then attack, which would be, oh, we need to know our friends. The America is saying it does not mean that it is true. We're a sovereign nation, and we could handle our own affair. We could do our own things and stuff like that. Now, the thing is this: the targeted genocide against Christians in Nigeria is a documented, event where the survivors and the areas where churches were burned down and all that, right? These are like a decade-long documented attacks, killings, including communities that were Christian communities that had their children taken from them by these terrorists. Some of them never returned, never to be seen again, right? So their parents, the leaders of some of these communities, and even from the terrorists themselves, who have boldly made videos to brag about their intention of wiping off all these infidels from the northern part of Nigeria and, of course, across the country. So you can pretend that, they are just some ragtag idiots, don't take them serious, but people are dying. People are dying. Church leaders are being kidnapped and slaughtered on cameras. Now that you have not really seen that for a long time, right, does not mean that you have to deny it happened. They are still kidnapping, they're like from the eyewitnesses, survivors who indeed know who came to kill them. and what they were saying when they came to kill them. So the government that has been playing politics with it, pointing fingers, happen to be the political party in government, happen to be the one that promised the people that it will never happen again. This was over 10 years ago. And here we are today, right? The one they chased out, those ones that chased him out, they all seem to just have completely lost the idea of how to get rid of these terrorists. APC enabled them very well. They did. And they all learned this out of, say nothing. Even when these people are dying every day, say nothing. So the other side of the argument is that why did it take the propaganda from America to confirm the killings of Christians in Nigeria, targeted Christians communities in Nigeria? Why do you think it took that from them before those of you who are really Muslims, Nigerians, who believe that we are all living in harmony, we are living together and all that shit that you tell yourself? Why did it take those propaganda before you have to come out to tell us that Muslims are also being killed? I'm just saying, I'm not saying that there are those who have not been saying that, but you are not so triggered, angry, or upset, right, that Muslims are also being killed by these terrorists. That enough for you to even probably be at the arrowhead on the advocacy to get rid of them. So why did you have to wait for those who you believe are using the propaganda of killing Christians to tarnish Muslims before you can then come out to actually say, oh, they are killing more Muslims? That's probably a question that we call rhetorical question. You don't even have to answer it, right? In Canada, in their own house, I don't know which part of Canada is this. I wouldn't say if it is their national stuff, right? But they will say it from this clip I'm about to play you. We're discussing the killings too. And this is why, when the Canadian court, for example, ruled that Nigeria police, they are a terrorist organization. Anybody who is a Nigerian policeman, that means you are a terrorist working for a terrorist organization. That's what their law. In the face of the law in America, so in Canada, that's how they see you, right? So in that same Canada, right, there are those who are also aware of these killings. They have hosted the victims, the leaders, and mostly probably behind your back. Behind your back, in the sense that they have managed, or Nigeria has managed, or APC, they've managed to numb a part of your mind that all these killings, you probably just read them as headlines, and you don't really care about those who survive or where they ended up, right? So in Canada, in one of their parliaments, they're having similar chats.
The Honourable Member for Regina Capel. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to bring attention to the tragedy Christians in Nigeria are experiencing. The deadly terrorist organization Boko Haram is trying to eliminate the Christian faith from Nigeria. This is the same terrorist group that kidnapped dozens of young schoolgirls and burned innocent civilians alive in cages. According to reports, over 3.5 million people have been forced to flee their homes. 3 churches are destroyed every single day. 7,000 Christians were massacred this year alone, and the faithful must now meet in secret or in burnt-out sanctuaries. Sadly, the world is turning a blind eye to the plight of Christians in Nigeria. There are no embedded journalists covering the violence. There are not daily updates. Politicians around the world are not asked questions about how they will respond. We cannot ignore this violence and tragic loss of life. We must speak out and shine a light on what's happening so that people can donate to relief efforts and provide support to those displaced by violence. To my brothers and sisters in Christ, we know you know the power of prayer. We will not forget you. Stay strong. Keep the faith.
That reminds me. This praise song.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
thank
shall I
you,
say?
Lord.
Thank you,
Viva, viva, viva,
Welcome back to reality. As much as some people would probably see that as, oh, look at them, they are showing empathy, they are showing love. And if the people who are not even in Nigeria can care so much about, but there is so much to that. Because there's a part of us, you may call it PTSD, which means that whatever love you see them show out there or concern they are showing, there's always something mask. It's pretty much like a mask. So it's like a mask over something. There's always more behind it, where the conspiracy theorists will now say, no, don't trust America. Don't trust these people. All these cry. It's not because they're not coming to save anybody. That's from our PTSD. Because you're likely not totally wrong. There are others who are also cooking, believing that, Omo, with this thing that they are now, we tell these guys like Ted Cruz and others, and this expose to what is going on in Nigeria, right? They said that that will help bring it to the attention of Trump. And the moment Trump is aware like this, Tifnumbu is gone. If Tifnumbu try to regain, I was like, no, calm down. Okay, bro, calm down. Number one, don't forget that Tifnumbu himself is a CIA asset, as we have all agreed, based on available evidence that they have tried very much to trivialize by making it like, no, asset, they call assets. Anyway, how Tifnumbu came to power in Nigeria, it is still strongly believed as the backing or the hand of America in it, because they could possibly have stopped him. Not stopped him from the pole, all right? But you know what I mean? Most of the stuff they had to hold on, use their court to hold on, all of that, it could probably, right, not even have gone that far. I'm just saying, based on our PTSD belief, all right, how invincible America is. So, therefore, America knows that a compromised president of a country like Nigeria is going to be useful at some point, especially now that they are all scampering for what do you call it? They are scampering for these rare materials, they call them. For all of this, their future technology, this and that. So the way the whole world is going, right? Nigeria is quite in safe hands with Kolu, a compromised Kolu. So you thinking that these senators and others are talking about the killings of Christians in Nigeria, which would then bring the attention of the American government to what is going on in Nigeria, ostensibly maybe Trump as well. There may be imagination that is taken too far, where just won't finish you. You know that time when we say you have sat there, you have imagined the whole thing, you have put one and two together, and now you could arrive at this that that's a good thing. Thank God that Trump is going to be aware. No, it doesn't work like that. So at a point, you have to tell yourself and say, more cut, when they are shooting movie, imagination and the rest of the get up and you are just going to be like, a cut. So you have to cut yourself and come to reality. They don't give a shit about you or about Nigeria or Nigerians. In fact, they value what they will get from Nigeria than you Nigerians. If there's anything that they can do to just like we have concluded before, right? If they have any means of taking all of us out of Africa and take us somewhere else and just leave the Africa like that, the animals, the field, and the mineral resources underneath. You understand? They just build outposts instead of having cities, countries, no, outposts. Every time they need anything, they just fly in, dig, take, leave. Africans are not as important to them as your resources. That's the point. All right. But there will be so many experts that will disagree with me. I am not an expert. I am a layman. And life, they say, is a teacher. The more you live, the more you will learn. I've lived long enough to believe what I told you that, So your resources. And with Tifnumbu, that is compromised, that they have compromise on, they don't have to change him. Oh, for your system that keep producing rogues, criminals. Yeah.